Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Every World is a Tiny Home. This week we are in the world of Windenburg, and to represent this world, I figured I would create a Tiny Tudor. This little home has 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and this is a Tier 2 tiny house. The world of Windenburg. It's a beautiful one, and I know it's a fan favorite within the Sims 4 community. It's crazy thinking that this was our second expansion pack for The Sims 4. So Windenburg came with the expansion pack get together, and it's been a little while. And I'm really curious, do you guys feel like this expansion pack has stood the test of time? Has it held up for you for gameplay, for the items you get, the world? Let us know down below in the comments. My personal opinion is I do think this world is beautiful. I love the variety in this world. So we have this downtown section, which is where I'm building. And then we have another kind of contemporary downtown area. We have the countryside, and then we have the island. And this world is really big. I think there's about 30 lots with this world, which makes it one of the bigger ones that we've ever got in The Sims 4, besides Newcrest, which is completely empty, but yeah, so I did a little research on this world and I came across an interview with one of the Sim gurus, and they were talking about their inspiration for this world. And I guess it's not a surprise. I think most people know that this world was modeled after multiple European countries. Personally, I see a lot of Germany. This just reminds me of Germany, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. But there's also like little essences of, I see England and France, and it's really nice. So a Tudor style home, this half timber style home that you see here, you see that in England, you see that in France, and you see that in Germany. So I didn't want this house to like specifically be from one country. I wanted it to look like you could find it in any of those countries. But then I added a beer garden because I needed to add in, yes, do you not like beer? I needed to add in like this little essence of Germany. And I think why this world reminds me so much of Germany is I was previously just in Germany before this expansion released. So when I got home and it was like a few months later this released, I was seeing video footage of the world and I'm like, oh, it looks like Germany. And I'm like, yay, I can go back to Germany in the game, which was awesome. Yeah, so there's like a special place in my heart for this world. And it was kind of funny because actually this past weekend, and now I'm recording this past week, yeah, whatever, I was just at a German restaurant, so hilarious, just hilarious. If we would have stayed longer, we could have been there for live polka music, which would have been fun, but also it was in a very small space. It would have got very loud. I don't know, so we'll have to go back another time and experience that. But I do really miss the food in Germany. There was this little Bavarian restaurant that we had went to, which probably had the best food that I have ever had in my life. The best comfort food. I don't even remember everything I had. I just remember the sauces were amazing. Absolutely amazing. Yes, they were Flynn. And then I ended up, my husband and I both shared bread pudding for dessert. And back then I could not do any gluten. So yeah, unfortunately, no typical German beer. But this place did gluten-free Kaiserschmarren, which, oh my gosh, it was so good. And then it was so good that for years and years, I looked for a recipe for this dessert. I even asked some German friends if they knew where I could find a recipe for this dessert, and no one knew. And I looked online, and it's like, just by looking at the ingredients, I'm like, this is not what I had. And then of all the random places, when we were in Colorado, I feel like it was several years ago, we went to a little European restaurant up in the mountains, and kind of like the world of Windenburg, they served a variety of different European foods. It wasn't just focused on one region, but I asked the waiter if the chef knew anything about this dessert. And he had never made it, but he had, I guess, in the kitchen, a cookbook from France, which had this recipe in it. So it was really awesome because he let the waiter bring it out. I was able to take a picture of the recipe, and I was finally able to recreate Kaiserschmarrn at home, and it was so good. It was still like, I don't know what they did in Germany. It was like, yeah, seriously, best food I have ever had in my life. So, you know, they asked like the prisoners, what do you want your last meal to be? Anything from that little restaurant would be my last meal. That is what I would pick. And because of all those great memories of Germany, I had to add in the beer garden, and that's my inspiration for the beer garden. Also, though, I built on, I think this is a 30 by 30 lot, or is it 30 by 20? I don't know. This lot's a little strange because it is part of like the old downtown area in Windenburg, but it's like all the way on the left side of the map. And it just feels very distant from the rest of the downtown. I kind of don't like that they like put it way off. It feels like this lot doesn't quite fit in. So I really wanted to fill this lot up all the way and make it look busy. And unfortunately, in the debug catalog, there are not good houses that I could like add on to the side of this like I did in the previous week's video when we were in San Myshuno. I was able to take debug like townhouses and then put that next to my actual townhouse. So I was hoping I would be able to do something similar like that here, but they're, yeah, not great debug options. So I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do? So I mean, that obviously automatically came to my mind was the beer garden. I'm like, you know what? That is a great way to make this seem really lively and upbeat. So your Sims that live here can have some really awesome parties. So either they can be the bartender at their own party, or you can hire a bartender. It's not going to be like it's a separate functioning community lot, but I thought that added a little bit of life to it. I think it looks really nice. But like I said, I just wish everything was like a little bit closer, because European towns, when you're in a European town, everything is like all squished together because these towns are old. A lot of them go back to medieval times, and back then people walked everywhere, or yes, they had horsepower, but it didn't take as long to get places when everything was nice and close together. Unlike nowadays, like the US is huge and everything is spread out. That's like, we don't really have a lot of towns where everything is close together. We do, but all those towns are like 1800s towns back when it was just human and horsepower to get places. But it's not quite the same as in Germany. So yeah, I wish they would have moved this in a little bit more, but I mean, this is still like a really cool lot, and you can kind of see it's like it's on the water, and like kind of the fencing around it. It's really pretty. This world is really pretty. I also have to mention, when I went back to focus on this world and build this home, I realized that we really got a lot of build and buy items with this expansion. I'm pretty blown away. We got a lot of stuff. So obviously Tudor style stuff was like the biggest thing we got with this, but I mean, we also got cafes, and we have stuff for cafes, and we also got some contemporary items. I'm very surprised how much stuff we got with this expansion. And then gameplay wise, we got clubs, which I mean, personally, I am not a huge fan of. I did play this expansion when it came out, and I got bored with the club system. I don't know how the rest of you feel about it. I don't know. I tried, and then it was just like, you know what? It's annoying getting everyone together. And loading screens. Yeah, the loading screens. I don't know. I wish there was more options too for clubs. I know they were kind of like trying to update that with each expansion and pack that we've had come out, and it's like I actually haven't looked at it in like forever. It just got old and repetitive for me. Just my personal opinion. If I was gonna go completely just based on build and buy, and then the world. I would highly recommend this expansion, and I do find myself using a lot of these items regularly in a lot of my builds. So yeah, if you like building, I think you would really enjoy this expansion. And then yes, the world is great. There's a lot of space here, and yeah, this would probably be on my higher recommendation list for expansions or game packs for The Sims 4. Also, building with this expansion and building in the world of Windenburg really has me inspired to want to come back and kind of build up the whole downtown as like a German inspired town. The towns in Germany, the small old towns are so pretty. And yeah, I'll probably come back in the future and do a little downtown area of just German inspired builds. I think it would be a lot of fun. So do you guys have a favorite neighborhood with the world of Windenburg? I was kind of thinking about it myself, and like I said, there's so much variety and this world is so beautiful. I really do like the old downtown area, but at the same time, I have built some houses in the countryside here, and I've realized the countryside is really pretty, and I kind of wish we had more lots there. I don't know, I really think the design is really nice. There's like a big lake in one point, and there's at least one waterfall. There's ducks that are like in the pond and in the water, and it's just so pretty. Yeah, I think this world, it probably ranks pretty high for me too. Pretty soon we're going to be working on the beer garden outside, but we're getting towards the end of this video, so we're going to start to wrap things up here. Make sure you stick around to the end because, as always, there is a video and picture tour, so make sure you stick around for that. But thank you so much again for hanging out with us. You guys, we really, really appreciate you. You are awesome. If you're not already subscribed, consider just hitting that button. It's easy and it's free, so why not? If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give us a like and leave us a really nice comment below. Thank you so much again, everyone, and we hope you have an amazing weekend. We will see you all in our next video.